Oh yeah, there it is. Woohoo! Oh man, that sounds awesome. Hey guys, so just picked this up. I've been waiting for a Banks cold air intake for going on 4 months. I just kept getting responses about the availability issues of the filter and whatnot, so I canceled the order on the Banks and picked this sucker up. I'd really just come across it at random after searching for intakes on YouTube, and came across a couple of clips of this thing making noise and thought it sounded good. Picked this up on Amazon for like 370 bucks, which looks like it's 150 cheaper than all the other truck outlets. Anyway, we'll take a look at what's going on in this box. Let me get it open, we'll take a look in there. So I have watched a few videos of this thing being installed, and seems like on many of the models, specifically the ones with the dual filter kits, there's this little tube that needs to be put into the breather to stop check engine light codes. But it looks like it comes with a nice bag of hardware. I've had Injen intakes before. I had a cold air intake on my 240 SX with the KA24. That was a really nice kit. Super long, but the you can kind of see here, the couplers are usually pretty good in these Injen kits. So this is the wrinkle black version. Kind of an OEM plus look to it. They have a chrome polished version, or a polished version that's kind of for the chrome heads. That's not really me. I like these this wrinkle black material. I got the longer tube here. I thought this was cool too. I thought this was pretty cool. Got a little badge there. I have noticed that on some of them, you can kind of see here, the badge doesn't really sit cleanly on the material, so I kind of expect that to fall off over time, but looks pretty cool. In the engine bay, a little bit of pizzazz. Here's the heat shield. Oh wow, it's a lot heavier than I was expecting. And a nice little plaque here. Really nice finish. The standoffs look good. Nice and threaded. This looks kind of bent. I don't know if that's meant to be that way or if it's a little bit damaged. That's supposed to be flat. I bet it's supposed to be flat. I don't know if you can see. It's got kind of a downward pitch. Anyway, we can fix that. Let's see what else. We got the filters here. I think there's two different size filters. At least the inlets. I believe there's two different size inlets. Yeah, this one is much smaller than this one. The filters look pretty cool. They're dry filters, but Injen calls them something. Let me see what it says right here on this tube. Super nano web dry filter media. So probably just some marketing jazz, but they look pretty cool. Most of the filters you see are the K&N red or paper filter white, so this is kind of neat. Have a different color here. Anyway, that's all the stuff that comes in the box. So there's some prep work to do on the heat shield before you put it in the truck. There's a weather stripping seal that has to be added to the top, and I believe it's to this side here and to this side here. The kit includes the weather stripping, so all you got to do is add that to here, and then the two sides, and then I think there's let's see what else is there. There's a standoff to hold the heat shield up from the bottom on this hole, and the rest of these vibra mounts would just go into these holes, to these tabs here. And then there's one mount which I believe you use the factory screw for. Well, maybe not. Anyway, this will mount to the front radiator support, and this mounts, I think there's a clip or a screw that you pull out of the factory airbox location.
Wrong.
Anyway, this is all the stuff that comes in the kit. Okay, we got the trim pieces on. They're a little long. I'll probably end up cutting those. So this is the bottom side by the radiator support. We got the top one up here. Then start on the bottom here and run it out this way. There's a little bit of overhang there. We got the vinyl trim put in here to protect the pipes. I tried to orient the start and stop point of the trim pieces so that when you're looking at the truck from the front, the filter should kind of cover up the start and stop point. Looks a little cleaner. On the top trim piece, probably won't be able to see it, but I notched the bottom section here because it just would not sit in this corner correctly. So I notched the bottom part of this stuff here. I don't know if you can see here, but it's got a little bit of metal in there to hold it. So I notched that out, put it in that corner, and it went down a lot nicer. Anyway, that's the trim piece and the heat shield set up. So I'll get this going. We'll put this in the truck and we'll go through the install. I was doing a test fit of the hoses and the pipes. Aside from this being a little bit difficult to fit inside here, one thing I noticed that you might want to take a look at on yours, if you pick one of these up, and really any intake in general, if you see little stickers like that inside the elbows and whatnot, always look inside the tubes and see if there's anything stuck in there that might end up into the combustion chamber. I mean, that sticker is probably not on there tight, and it's gonna blow right off. Oh yeah, look, it's so loose. I just touched it. So keep an eye out for that, especially, definitely on this kit, but on any kit in general. Okay guys, I got another quick little note. I was taking a look at the grommets. I have a 27 F150 non-Raptor, and according to the installation instructions of the two grommets that come with the kit, the plug for the 15 to 17 non-Raptor goes on the passenger side inlet, and the sensor grommet goes on the large tube on the driver's side turbo. You can see the numbers there. For the 15 to 17, it's the X8002, which will allow the sensor. For the 15 to 17, the plug, let me see which one that was. It was labeled on the bottom. I think it's called the X6015. That goes on this side. This one was extremely hard to get in. I had to put it in boiling water for about 10 minutes to get it soft enough to eventually ply in there. This one went in pretty easy with just a little bit of WD-40, similar to how these slipped on there. For the 2018 and up trucks, or the 2018 that uses this kit, it might be a different part number for 2019, but the instructions labeled 2018 and Raptor. You flip these. The sensor would go here and the plug would go here. So for 15 to 17, intake sensor on the big tube, or the sensor on the big tube and the plug on the small tube. For 18 and Raptor, reverse it. Sensor goes here on the small tube, and the plug will go on the big tube. All right, we're almost done here. I think that's the last piece. So now we'll go get the stock one out and put this one in. Okay, we're out in the engine bay right now. I think what I'm going to do first is try to do the service on the sensors. So I'm going to pull that one out, which is a T30. We're going to take that one out, although I think I'm actually going to clean that one in place and just put some paper towel down there to catch the runoff. And then we're going to clean this one out of the intake track. We'll need to remove this bolt to get the kit out. And there's one under the snorkel on the radiator support there. This guy right here we'll have to take out. So let me get these sensors out, we'll get them cleaned, and then we'll start taking the stock intake box out. Okay, so we got the factory Y pipe removed. The sensor we're going to take out is this little guy here. And what you're going to want to do is take a small skinny screwdriver and lift the tab, this little tab right there. You're going to lift that up, you prop it up and turn it this way and then pull it straight out. That's what we're left with. It's connected to this loom, so I'm not really going to take the sensor all the way out, and I don't want to take the tape off to just take the element out. So what I'm going to do is pretty much clean it in place. We'll put the sensor on this stuff here, and then I've got basically contact cleaner. I spoke to a guy at the Ford dealership about doing this, and a lot of people buy the mass airflow sensor cleaner. He said he recommends this. They use this at the dealership. I'm not particularly certain why, but they said that's what this used, so that's what they use, so that's what I'm going to use. Anyway, we'll get this cleaned up, and then we'll come back and do the next sensor, which is that one. That one I believe I can take all the way out, and then the other one on the intake manifold, I'm going to leave that one in place too. Okay, so we're starting the installation, and here's another piece that causes quite a few people some confusion. If you, like me, and you watch the American Trucks video, they don't talk about this at all. I dug around a little bit and found several videos, especially one from Injen, that talk about this tube. I'm going to double check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure what you do is you pop this off, and you put this tube inside that hole with there's like a slice in it. You've got to put the open side towards the turbo. It's got something to do with crankcase pressure. If you don't do it, you'll get a check engine light. So we're gonna pop this off, put the open side towards the turbo. You just slide it in towards there. It should go all the way in, and then you put the cap back on it. Let me get this put in there, and then we'll move on to the next part, which is putting the heat shield in. Okay, here we are. Everything's installed. I think we got all the sensors cleaned. I also did the memory reset where you pull the battery terminal so that the computer can relearn all the air intake points or whatever. I don't know exactly what it is, but people say after you clean your intake sensors, you got to pull that to let the computer drain. Anyway, let's see. We'll talk about a couple things. So first, I don't really know, I didn't see anything in the manual that explains what to do with the cable for the intake sensor. So I'm gonna zip tie it kind of along this loom. And I don't know if it's supposed to sit like that with that tab on the outside of the grommet. The pictures weren't super clear, but we're gonna go with that. A couple of pinch points I had with this kit were with that vibra mount in first, down there at the bottom, it was real tough to get this arm, or this little standoff, into that hole. So I ended up threading that in kind of lightly and then maneuvering it into place. And it was kind of difficult to get this in that way, but obviously it worked. The other thing I had some difficulty with, I found it was better to take these off. Maybe that's why they don't tell you to put them on first. But to take these off, take the washer and the nut off, get all this into place, and then kind of slide it in this way without this, and then screw it while the tubes are in place. You can see it's not super straight. There's a little bit of torsion pushing this way on that vibra mount, but it's all in place. I haven't tried to close the hood yet, so I guess we'll do that together. The moment of truth. All right, let's see if we throw any check engine lights. Hey, no check engine lights. Let's give it a listen. I don't hear any difference. Oh yeah, there we go. It's got that intake growly noise. I heard from a couple people that you can't actually spool these while they're in park or neutral. So let me pack up all my tools, and then maybe we'll take it on the road real quick and see see if we notice any difference. All right, I hear a little bit of ticking that I didn't hear before. I don't know if that's something to do with the intake. Anyway, we're in sport mode. Oh yeah, there it is. Woohoo! Oh man, that sounds awesome. Oh, I forgot the stock intake is in the bed. I gotta calm down. Wow, guys, that sounds amazing. I've never been able to hear these turbos before. It's incredible. Man, they are so aggressive. You can hear it right away. I hope the sound isn't being cut by road noise. I mean, right there, you can hear it at 1500 RPMs. Holy smokes, guys. It's incredible. It's very aggressive, very loud. Let me put the window up, see if it's gonna annoy me. I mean, I don't know, I've been a fan of turbos my whole life. I doubt I could get annoyed by the sound, but oh, man, it's still very loud with the window up. Holy smokes, guys. Incredible. Thanks for coming along. That was my little trip around the block. Hope you enjoyed the turbo noise. Let me know if you have any questions, if you're thinking about getting this kit. If you're into aggressive sounding intakes that just make constant whooshing and whistling noises, I think this is the one for you. It's not super difficult to install, but you should take your time, watch some videos, familiarize yourself with the procedure. Watch the American Trucks one. There's another guy with a 2018. I'll link his video in the description. He's got a really good installation video that talks about some of the issues with the intake sensor wires and stuff like that. I'll also include some photos I took of the crankcase vent tube. So if you happen across this video and it helps you out a little bit, give me a like or a thumbs up or whatever it is. And all right, that's it for now. Thanks, guys.